In the quiet village of Thirunelor, nestled between lush paddy fields and coconut groves, mornings were a symphony of temple bells, crowing roosters, and the distant hum of the river. Everyone in the village knew Apu, the majestic temple elephant of the Sri Annapurneshwari temple. Apu wasn't just an elephant, he was family. His grand tusked presence at temple festivals made him the pride of the village, but more than his size or the golden caparison he wore during processions, it was Apu's smile that made him special. It was a curious thing, his smile. His eyes would crinkle, and his trunk would curl in a way that made it look like he was laughing at some hidden joke. But one day, Apu's smile vanished. It started subtly. He stopped splashing water playfully during his morning baths at the river. Then he refused to touch the tender coconuts that children would eagerly bring him. By the end of the week, Apu's usual cheerful bellows were replaced with a low, mournful rumble. Everyone noticed, and soon the whole village was buzzing with worry. "Maybe he's fallen ill," suggested Gopi Chatan, the mahout who had cared for Apu since he was a calf. "Illness? No," argued Amu, a spirited 10-year-old girl who loved Apu more than anything. "He's sad about something. We need to find out what's bothering him." Amu's words struck a chord, and Gopi Chatan agreed to let her try. After all, Apu had always been particularly fond of Amu, letting her sit atop his back while he strolled through the fields. That evening, Amu sat under the big banyan tree near the temple, her thoughts swirling like the monsoon winds. The temple priest Narayanan Nambutiri saw her and walked over. "What's troubling you, Amu?" he asked kindly. "It's Apu, Swami," Amu replied. "He's not smiling anymore. How can I make him happy again?" The priest thought for a moment and said, "Sometimes when someone is sad, it helps to remind them of things they love. What does Apu love the most?" Amu's eyes lit up. "The river, and the Pukalam, flower carpets during festivals, and the temple's Chendamelam drum performances." The next morning, Amu set her plan into motion. She gathered her friends and they set off to the riverbank. The river was Apu's favourite spot, and Amu thought it might remind him of happier times. They cleaned the area, arranging flowers in a circle, and placing a mound of jaggery balls, Apu's favourite treat, in the centre. When Gopi Chetan brought Apu to the river, the elephant hesitated at first. But as the children sang folk songs and offered him jaggery balls, Apu's ears twitched ever so slightly. He dipped his trunk into the river, spraying a small jet of water. The children cheered, but his smile didn't return. Disheartened but not ready to give up, Amu turned to the temple festival preparations. "We need to do something special for Apu this year," she told the villagers. Inspired by her determination, they decided to hold a small pre-festival celebration just for Apu. Women wove garlands of jasmine and marigold, while men set up the chenda drums under the banyan tree. That evening, as the drums began to play, the rhythm echoed through the village. Apu was brought to the banyan tree, adorned with flowers. Amu stood in front of him holding a small mirror. "Look, Apu," she said gently. "You look so handsome today. Everyone is here for you." Apu's large eyes met Amu's in the mirror. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, as the chenda rhythm grew faster, something shifted. Apu's ears flapped, his trunk curled slightly, and his eyes crinkled. A faint but unmistakable smile. The children erupted in cheers. But Amu noticed something else. As Apu smiled, he reached his trunk toward a small pouch tied to Gopi Chatan's waist. Gopi opened it, revealing a set of anklets adorned with tiny bells. They had belonged to Apu's old mahout, Raghavan Chatan, who had passed away a year ago. Gopi explained, "These were Raghavan's. He used to tie them to Apu during festivals. I think Apu missed him." The villagers were silent for a moment, moved by the bond between Apu and his former caretaker. Amu gently tied the anklets to Apu's feet. As the chenda melam reached its crescendo, Apu began to sway, his bells jingling in harmony with the drums. It was as if he was dancing, and with each step his smile grew wider. From that day on, Apu's smile returned. The villagers realized that even the mightiest creatures could feel loss and sadness, and sometimes all they needed was a little love and understanding. Amu became a local hero, her determination and kindness reminding everyone of the power of empathy. And so, in the little village of Thirunelor, life returned to its joyful rhythm, with Apu's smile lighting up every festival and every heart.